Okay, time in this game starts when we get control of the character, and it ends when we lose control of the character in Chapter 8 when we go into the gym for the second time. Alright, and that'll be time now. It's important to not be running when you come into the pub and any other rooms that will have enemies in it, because the game detects if while you're running, when you go into a door, it'll detect you as running when you go into the door. And you'll have to listen to a text box about not running in the pub. Of course, when there's enemies, that'll transfer into you being instantly aggroed by the enemies. You do have to click on everything in this room in order to progress, so focus on spacing. Alright, and here we will be talking to the third girl instead of the fourth girl last, because it makes the cutscene walking shorter, thus saving us a little bit of time. It is around at this point where the game starts to, realize that it's a horror game. Quote unquote. Alright, so the big thing in this game is focusing on saving your sprint and using it in the right place. It does recharge while you're in text boxes, but it's the biggest time save there is. Ugh. Unfortunate. I accidentally clicked on not the door. Alright, so now we're going to be introduced to the spooky boys. They detect you by hearing you run and by listening to your heartbeat. If you're undetected, they can walk right past you if you're hiding in a dark spot. But you can't run until your bar is white and your heartbeat is no longer frantic. A big mistake is forgetting to click on the gym before you leave. It loses you about 4 seconds. You can serve sprint between doors, but you do not between the levels. So it's important to use as much as you can. That's going to be the end of chapter 1. It's important to use all your sprint outside. You're not going to use any inside until the very end, and you'll already have saved it up. Because all of Chapter 2 is basically in this one room. Right here we get the... narrow it down to the frequency. We hear the voice on. Right there. Alright, and now it's a cutscene. Alright, and now we sprint till the end of the chapter. That is it for Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is by far the shortest chapter. Chapter 3 is about the same, just a little bit longer. It's just a long cutscene. Oh, I'm sorry. Chapter 4 is what I'm talking about. Chapter 3 is relatively short. We have to get 2 keys. We have to get the heart key to open that door. We have to get the pump key to open to power the pump, which will let us progress to Chapter 4. We're going to see another spooky boy here. He'll be down at the end of this valley. We'll have to hide in this spot right here, but we'll have to drag him back because it's a little bit faster if you get him hooked onto you and then drag him back. Because sometimes he won't walk all the way down. But we're good. Alright. Our friend died at 1:35, so we'll be setting the alarm clock to 1:35. It is, of course, on her desk, not next to the bed for some reason. And setting the alarm clock to the time of her death will unlock her room. Alright, and the heart key's at the end of this room. She says, oh shit. There's a spooky boy inside the house. It introduces the crawling mechanic. It's important to not be sprinting. because this is one of the rooms where if you sprint, the spooky boy will automatically be detected onto you, and he's in here, so he can't be outside. So this is a free sprint zone. Try not to use it all, because you lose time if you use it all. Because the out-of-breath animation is a little bit slower than the walking animation. Alright, now that we have the heart key, we can go into the heart room / house. And it is time for spooky time in the bathroom. And then we'll find the pump key in the under his mirror. There are about 2 frames from picking up an item to the picture showing up where you can move. You can use this to move in the direction you're going to be using for moving to save some frames. Alright, and now we go to the pump. We power it on using the note right there. Plug in the key. The note says middle, right, left, right, middle, middle. Turn it on. Alright, and it looks like we're done with Chapter 3. Chapter 4 is basically one long cutscene after the gate. And the gate has the potential to save time or lose it depending on how you do it. It's all about knowing what to click. And we have lost some time because I'm garbage. I clicked once too many on the bottom, or on the second to bottom, and that screwed us. Alright, and now it's cutscene time. Alright, now we open the casket. And you do have to click on all 3 of these things to advance. You can move the cursor during the text box. Use this to save a little bit of time by putting on the next item you're going to click on. I'm not really sure how much time this saves, but, you know, some frames. Okay, and that's going to be it for Chapter 4. We will now be at Chapter 5, which is the hospital. Of course, it's not a horror game without a hospital. We will be unable to walk, or to sprint for the first bit of this, but once we can sprint, it's pretty much over. So, in order to heal ourselves, we'll need to get the medicine located in there, and to do that, we'll need to get the key card. Alright, in here, once we get in, we're going to come across the hardest puzzle in the game, also known as the biggest time loser in the game. It's a bit of a joke, but it can actually screw you if you don't do it right, and I only do it right about
What's up, Alex?
20% of the time. I'm on the pill bottle, and I've done it.
And I'm on my phone.
I've done it flawlessly. I did the pill bottle flawlessly.
I'm trying to speedrun this game.
Alright, I'm about to hit the record. We're definitely getting it. Okay. It's time for circuit breaker. Okay, and now we can sprint. We just have to go into one door and avoid the spooky boy. And then we'll be golden for chapter 5. And you can just walk straight in. You don't have to worry about hiding from him. I hope. We go straight to the puzzle. It's got to be EPLH. It corresponds to the letters, or to the pictures from the lock. EPLH. Alright. Be moving the crosshair in between text to the next spot. Alright. And now we should be good to go. And the spooky boy's gone, so we can just run straight. And the front door's unlocked. And that'll be it for chapter 5. Alright, chapter 6 onward is where it really starts to pick up difficulty, because you have to go in and out of rooms and avoid spooky boys, who are a little unpredictable sometimes. And sometimes they can kind of screw you just by running in where when you think they wouldn't. So this room has 3 boxes that we need to vault over, making it pretty much impossible to sprint through, just because vaulting also uses stamina. Alright, so we have to solve the bird riddle. That's a big time waste right there if you mess that up. Alright, so there'll be a spooky boy in here. We can run till about right here. We gotta go past this door. We don't have to wait, I believe. No, we do. We need to get into here to get the rusty key to go into that other door. Okay, this will give us one of the orange keys. We need the orange keys to open the door to get to the end. Okay. These last 3 levels take about as much time as the first 5, just because of how many doors you have to go in between. The 8th is a little longer than the 6th and the 7th, but I definitely think the 7th is the longest. The only thing that's random in this game is which orange key you get. Usually you get... it's more than likely you get 2 from the purse, but it can actually be either 2 or 1, and you can actually get both 1s and both 2s. It's just, it's a little weird how that is. It is, after all, the only random thing in this game, so you hide right here. Besides, of course, the AI behavior, which is a little finicky sometimes. I like to go in here to reset. You have to go past it. And we're golden to run. We gotta get the frozen hand to microwave to get the other orange key. And here we have the frozen hand. Now here's where the Spooky Boys AI starts to get a little finicky. I believe you can just run straight into the door. You can. Okay. Alright, time to microwave the hand. And according to the picture on the wall, we need to put it right here. And this will give us key 2. And according to the picture on the TV, we know how to solve this next bit right here, which is what we unlock with the 2 orange keys. And the solution to this being we saw on the TV monitor, or the TV screen, and this unlocks the far left. So we have to get past the Spooky Boy one more time. It is possible to go in the door and reset him, but it is a little random how that works, so I choose to just stay in that one spot, and then you can sprint to the far left. Alright, and I will just see Vanessa hanging out. Alright. And then we'll freak out. And then we'll run away. We'll run into our friend. And we'll head to the library. The library, of course, being the longest part, because we have to get 3 books from all different points. Alright, and that is it for Chapter 6. Alright, so right here we just have to light up. This puzzle's pretty self-explanatory. You just flick the light, read the note. We gotta go around the collapsed roof, so full sprint basically. I do have to click on this book to get the key to the office. And then we click on the computer to get Grace's message. You don't have to exit out of this to backspace. Alright, now we gotta go get the 3 books. And of course we need to get the heavy hammer to open the basement door. That is also in the office with one of the books. You do have to click on Harcourt's corpse to gain access to grab the hammer. So you just click on him first. You do have to grab the note. You grab the book. And then you grab the heavy hammer. And now we run to the far left to grab the second book, and then we'll run down to the basement to grab the third. The third, of course, being guarded by a spooky boy, but he's one of the easiest spooky boys in the game to get around. Now we go downstairs. Flynn will be a chicken and not go down with us. And you do have to tilt this painting before you go in. You don't actually, but I like to. So there's a spooky boy inside this door, and at the end of the hallway there will be a book. We can sprint to the desk, get down under the desk, crawl past, and then wait for the spooky boy to go past, and then we can go past, and then run, grab the book. We do have to wait here for the spooky boy to reset, but don't worry, he can't come to the end of the hallway. Alright, so we're good here. Okay, and I fucked up. I lied. We were not good. I'm not going to restart because I've done this 4 times today, and I'm going to lose my mind if I do this again. So, run to the desk. It's literally like 20 seconds. I don't care. Okay, so we wait here for the spooky boy to reset. You can go straight to the desk if you're fast. And don't sprint, triggering him. And then you're good. Okay. And now we gotta go scan these books. And they'll say go back to the high school. And we'll go back to the high school. This, of course, being one of the most frustrating things, because those barcodes, just like barcodes in real life, are a little finicky. It says go back to the high school. It takes these guys a whole minute to read that, because they're brain dead. Alright, we are on track to potentially get a sub 33, depending on how fast we can do the last chapter. It's doable. My current best is a 36. The best overall is a 33. I can definitely do a sub 33. And that's it for chapter... Oh, and head. And that's it for chapter 7. Of course, you gotta start sprinting left. Final chapter. So once again, time will end the second time we go into the gym during this chapter, because it's just a big long cutscene and we don't have control of the character. Face percent. Okay. So all we gotta do is avoid this spooky boy, go through the hallway, go through the metal boiler room. This spooky boy can be a little finicky. You hide in this locker, and depending on how his AI goes, you go into this room, and sometimes he can just come in and kill you regardless. You have to wait on the text box to not aggro him. If you go to pick up the item, he will be aggro on you. Okay. Because you are able to move in those 2 frames, and of course you'll be vulnerable in those 2 frames. That's just how the game works. So it's a blessing and a curse. There's a spooky boy in here. We just cheese him. You do have to stop in this locker. But once we get past him, it's basically easy money. We only ever sprint from a spooky boy once, and it will be at the end of this run. And it is terrifying. Okay, so we go into here, into the boiler. So the first one needs to be set to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It's on the wall. And the other one needs to be set to 30 degrees Celsius. It's also on the wall. And of course, this is sometimes finicky. Okay, and we're almost there. We can even get sub 32. So, there's just one spooky boy, and if we want to be Big Dick, we can run past him. Let's see how we do. Let's see if we decide to do it. I think we're going to try for it. It's a little bit Big Dick. Alright, we're doing it. Okay, you gotta type this. It's 1853. It is on the projector. You have to go in. He will still chase you into the next room. You have to run into the gym, and that'll be time. That's time. Alright, exploding time. Okay, now we do have to sit here and watch these credits because there's a little bit for us to watch after. Oh geez, I never thought I'd get a sub 32. Damn. I even lost some time, so that's further optimizable. So it's pretty similar to other games Benjamin Rivers has made, like that like Home Horror. I played that recently. It's that came out in like 2012. I want to say this came out last year, but he really likes his style of pixelated horror game. That's more narrative driven than gameplay, but this one has a little more interactivity. Like, Home is more choice defining. This one's more gameplay in it, because there's the spooky boys in here, and however much you discover can lead to what happens. But it's much more linear than home. Of course, both do tell a pretty decent story. The end, boys. Thanks for watching.